Terrific. Celebrate.
After a long and exhausting 3 days here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course with races for USF Juniors, USF2000, and USF Pro 2000, just one more race left to go here on a Sunday morning. USF2000 set to back up their triple header here at this iconic racetrack. Hello, race fans. My name is Rob Howden, joined by Caleb Gafrarar from Pabst Racing, who scored his first win earlier this weekend, and then second yesterday as well. Caleb, first let's talk about the win before we talk about what could happen today. Big victory for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I was so happy to bring it home for the team. We've been working on it all year, and I was able to just get my driving right. We had the car right, and it just all came together.
We talk about how it takes the stress off of a driver. Can you put that into words to get that monkey off your back?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, you now go into the day, and you're like, we finally got a win, and now you can just, like, work on it and try to keep going for more.
The race yesterday afternoon was a big one as well. You and Jack Jeffers got at it near the end. You were pushing hard. You and Jack have been friends for a long time. I don't think that would have mattered if the opening was there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, off the track, I mean, we're best friends still. I mean, we're going to give each other that courtesy of just, like, not completely just driving too hard into each other, but we're definitely going to race hard and give it a good race. So I tried to get to him in the last corner there, but I couldn't make it happen, so I just settled with P2.
One of the big things in the championship was Thomas Schrag had some issues, the VRD driver finishing deeper in the field. That brought everybody back together in the championship fight. One more race to go. Are you thinking about the championship right now? Because although you're a little further back, that win in a second, you do that again, you're going to find yourself in the hunt going to Toronto.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're still hunting for it, and we're going for everything to get that championship at the end of the year.
So obviously you guys sat down, I know, in the data room, went over the debrief. Can you make the car better for today?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can fix some driving things, and we can get the car a bit better, and altogether we'll be definitely a lot faster.
See, that's what you want to hear out of a driver. It's not just the race car. He can fix some stuff with himself as well. Caleb Gafrarar ready to go for race number 3 for USF 2000. We'll cap off this weekend here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course right now. After this break, we'll come back with a full driver lineup. Well, 6 races already in the books through the last couple of days here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. USF Juniors and USF Pro 2000 capping off their doubleheader components of this weekend. One more race still to go of the 7 that we had lined up on the weekend dance card. USF 2000 capping off their triple header. Hello, everyone. My name is Rob Howden, joined in the booth by the voice of Mid-Ohio, Mr. John Phippen. We'll come to him momentarily as we have 17 drivers set to go for the final race of the weekend for the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. Championship wide open in this category with 2 winners on the weekend so far. Caleb Gafrarar and Jack Jeffers both scoring wins. Will we see a third different winner on the weekend? Definitely a possibility with some very quick drivers up front. Let's have a look at the grid right now as we get set to go. 17 racers set to roll off. As I said, we are looking like about 5 minutes away from the command to fire the engines. Starting in the 17th position, looking to recover from a tough weekend so far, Vian Boshoff, the driver from South Africa, in the Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development number 67. Again, he will start in the 17th position, was able to work his way up nicely to the top 10 in race number 2. On road number 8 on the outside, driver making his debut here this weekend in the USF 2000 category, a regular driver in the Mazda MX-5 Cup program out of Michigan, Von Mishko. And the D-Force Racing number 17, he was able to get himself up into the top 10 as well, avoiding some of the chaos that happened at the very beginning of the race yesterday. Alongside him will be Eddie Beswick, multi-time Australian Formula 4 champion in the Synergy Motorsports TATIS USF 22. Beswick in the number 30 has been improving leaps and bounds as they're finding a lot of pace in that car, the brand new team looking to expand into 2026. Into row number 7 now on the outside from Pacific Palisades, California. It's Timmy Carell on the J. Howard Driver Development Fast Toys Racing Club number 8. Carell starting in the 14th spot. Alongside him, a driver just looking to get through the opening lap. Got collected yesterday in a start line incident. Ryan Janetta out of California in the number 99 for VRD Racing. The bad luck has hounded him throughout this year. The speed is there, though, this weekend. He's looking to see if he can't get himself into the top 10. Janetta rolling off from 13th. Moving now to row number 6 on the outside, Evan Cooley for Exclusive Autosport, a monster at the start, getting himself up into the lead group. Ended up finishing 6th yesterday. Cooley for Exclusive, and the number 90 out of Illinois is in the top 5 in points as well. We will look at the top 5 points when we get out onto the pace lap. Cooley's going to start alongside Ayrton Hauk out of McCordsville, Indiana, in the Benchmark Autosports, number 58. Hauk is the driver who had the issue, climbed up over top of Sebastian Garzón at the start of race number 2 and caused that accident at start finish. Hauk, again, has the pace to get himself into the top 10. Road number 5, as we talk about the top 10, outside will be the number 11 out of the Woodlands, Texas, Joshua Leonel for D-Force Racing. Leonel in that number 11 definitely has the pace to run top 10. That's where he'll start here now. Look for Leonel to get into an early groove and try to push forward. Another driver looking to kind of clear away from some of the bad luck on the weekend, Sonoma, California's Christian Cameron collected in a wreck yesterday. The VRD driver in that number 19. Again, all these drivers just hoping for one clean race to cap off this weekend. Cameron will start in the 9th position. Going now to row number 4, starting on the outside, G3 Argyros in that number 23 was attacking at the start yesterday, had a great run almost up into the podium. And again, G3 Argyros for Pabst Racing in the Positive Energy Machine. He will start in the 8th position in the number 23 alongside Anthony Martella. Again, another driver looking for a bit of a recovery here. Incidents in both the first and second races. Martella and the Young Drivers of Canada. Jay Howard Driver Development Machine, a winner at the Freedom 75 earlier this year. From here at Mid-Ohio, he'll head to the home race in Toronto as he's from Woodbridge, Ontario, Canada. Moving now to row number 3, one of the drivers who really has come on strong midway through the season here, Lucas Facuri, the Brazilian for Exclusive Autosport, flirting with that first podium finish here in the USF2000 program. Facuri in the number 91, starting 6th. Alongside him, a driver right in the middle of a championship battle, a winner from Road America, three podiums in the last 4 races for Teddy Masella. Winner at Road America on the podium yesterday. The VRD driver very quick in the number 25, and watch for him to see if he could potentially be that third different winner on the weekend. He'll start alongside he'll start behind Sebastian Garzón, the D-Force Racing driver in the number 12. Won the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series last year. Got a scholarship to come up here into USF2000 with D-Force Racing. He's looking to break through a number of rough results for the young driver who is very, very talented. Garzón in the 12, starting in 4th. Alongside him, Race 1 winner of the Midland, North Carolina, Caleb Gafrarar for Pabst Racing. We often talk about drivers who get their first win and then storm back and get a bunch of wins in succession, or at least the floodgate starts to open. He finished 2nd yesterday. Gafrarar is going to start P3 inside of row number 2. The winner from yesterday, race number 2, 2nd place in points right now in the Corpay Cross Border Solutions Machine, Jack Jeffers in the number 92 for Exclusive Autosport, looking to see if he can't get his 3rd win of the season. Also won on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway earlier this year. He will start 2nd. But here's the driver they're going to chase here into turn number 1. That is the number 2 VRD machine in that tire discounters effort. And again, we talk about Thomas Schrag every time we come to Mid-Ohio. From Bethel, Ohio, this is the home racetrack, the home state. Just like Graham Rahal, this is the track that he wants to win at. Thomas Schrag, your point leader coming into the weekend. Only 5 points separate the top 2 drivers. We'll look at the top 5 once they get set to roll off track. We're getting very close to firing these engines and getting them on the racetrack. It'll be Schrag and Jeffers on row 1, Gafrarar and Garzón row 2, Masella and Facuri row 3, Martella and Argyros row 4, Cameron and Leonel on row 5, Hauk and Cooley row 6, Janetta and Carell row 7, Beswick and Mishko row 8, and Bossoff on row number 9. Let's bring in John Phippen, the voice of this track for the last 40 years. John, it is going to be a fantastic day. Chamber of Commerce weather right now, only 73 degrees as well. So for these young drivers who battled in the high heat yesterday, a cooler morning, this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to have the great weather here this weekend. Mid-Ohio is affectionately known as Mud Ohio to a lot of folks, and fortunately we don't have any of that to contend with this weekend, as it's been perfect weather, and I'm really looking forward to this. Thomas Schrag trying to get his weekend uncorked. He had a great start to the weekend, finishing on the podium in the first race, but yesterday he had some bad luck, and his points lead is down to just 5 points.
Speaking of that point lead, let's have a look at the top 5 right now in this USF 2000 championship program. There are essentially 6 races still to go. This final race here, 2 in Toronto, and then a triple header at Portland in the middle of August. So the championship's starting to get into that stretch run right now. Thomas Schrag does have a 5-point lead over Jack Jeffers after Jeffers' win yesterday. 262 points for Schrag, 257 points for Jeffers. You could say it's almost a 2-driver race, but Teddy Masella is 28 points back. That's only one race. A couple drivers get together, he ends up winning. You can get a 30-point swing very quickly. 55 points back, G3 Argyros. I mentioned that G3 launching from P8, had a great run yesterday to get himself up into the top 5. He's 4th in points. 67 points back is Caleb Gafrarar. Now that's almost over 2 full races worth of points. But again, that driver just got his first win. He could get on a streak and win a bunch of races. Last but not least, Evan Cooley, 6th place in points right now. That's pretty much it in terms of the drivers who are likely in the championship fight. Cooley, 84 points back as well. Still lots of racing to go, John. We know it's not over yet. And again, all it takes is a couple drivers getting together, a couple DNFs with the right winner, and everything gets blown wide open again.
Exactly right. You know, with as you said, 5 races to go after this one. There's still plenty of time for these drivers to work it out, but it really looks like a 3-horse race at the front with Schrag, Jeffers, and Musella probably going to look for the championship run here at the end of the season.
Yeah, our pace car's trying to get away from Schrag again, and Thomas raced him all the way down into Thunder Valley. I don't think we go green flag again here. The rest of the field's still down in Thunder Valley. This is exactly the same thing we saw in race number 1 when they stayed way too close to the pace car. We've still got drivers coming into Thunder Valley. I don't know that we go here. We may go green. We'll see as they roll their way out here.
Yep.
And we do go green flag racing. That's a little bit of a surprise to me with so many drivers that far back. Beswick, you look at the guys in the back there. Beswick, Mishko, Carell, just maybe not getting up as quickly as they possibly could. But we are green flag racing and underway here with USF2000. The first run down through turn number 1, down into the keyhole. Let's see how it plays out. Big run to the outside for Caleb Gafrarar. He might go to P2 here. Gaffarar's on the outside of Schrag. Talk about Gafrarar potentially going to the lead here on the opening lap. One driver's gone all the way off the racetrack further back. One driver's going to fall to the tail of the field. Looks like one of the Jay Howard cars potentially. But look at this gaggle of cars coming into turn 4 for the first time. They're setting themselves up. I wonder if that was potentially Gafrarar actually that might have gone off. No, there's Gafrarar coming through there. So if you're at home, take a deep breath for the Gafrarar family. If you're not here at the track, that was a gaggle though coming out of turn number 2, John. I'll tell you, it looked to me like Gafrarar was going to be able to get a run all the way down the straightaway, but Schrag's been able to hold it off. Jeffers has gone into 2nd. 3rd spot now is Masella. I think that may be Fakuri now up into the 4th spot. So all told, an interesting opening lap thus far. Everybody getting single file. Those drivers a bit further back, able to, again, be clean and green through the opening couple of corners. Schrag, again, looking to get that win that has eluded him for the first 2 races here at the home track at Mid-Ohio. He will lead the opening circuit, though. Schrag, Jeffers, Masella. Then it's, I believe, Fakuri. Fakuri now up into the 4th spot. 5th is Caleb Gafrarar. So indeed, John, opening lap, Schrag doing exactly what he needed to do first and foremost, get through that opening lap and the opening lap attack from all the drivers as well. So indeed, Schrag's lead about 0.4 of a second on the opening lap. Doesn't take much for that draft to come into play. The big battles we're seeing a little bit further back there in the field from, let's say, 13th on back, 12th on back. Oh, big defense down the bottom of the racetrack there. That is Jack Jeffers all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack to defend from Teddy Masella. One of the things, if you make that move to defend, you can't come back. You saw that the Jeffers had to hold the car down to the bottom, and man, you give up so much exit speed. That's going to be great for Thomas Schrag. I bet the gap is bigger now, knowing that Jeffers having to hold the bottom of the racetrack and Schrag doing that full run. John, you know if you're down to the bottom there, you really got to whoa it up to get around the corner.
Yeah, and Masella had to lock him up to avoid collecting the back of Jeffers as he was heading down into that turn. So it's definitely cost him a little momentum, but hopefully they'll be able to hook up and get back together again as the top 3 spread out just a little bit. Oh, and here comes Gafrarar down to the inside. of Lucas Facuri. Looks like he's back up a spot.
You don't see passes there a lot, John. Facuri opened the door and Gafrarar threw it to the inside. It was very similar to the move that Gafrarar, I think, wanted to make on Jack Jeffers on the final lap in yesterday's race. He thought about sending it down the inside of the carousel, but knocked back another gear and kind of checked up a little bit there. He did not check up at all. Beautiful pass for Gafrarar to the inside of that carousel. He'll go to P4. Good stuff. And also you saw an attempt there as Evan Cooley looked to the inside of Joshua Leonella on the way into the apex of the keyhole as well. Remember, Cooley started back in 12th position. He's already up to 8th, so +4 for Evan Cooley. Driver 6th place in points.
Look at Jeffers.
Yeah, look at that move to the inside. Book at Jeffers all the way to the apex, and he'll take the lead into turn number 1. Man, that was a fantastic move.
From way back. I really didn't think he could do it, but he made it stick. Great pass.
John Schrag kind of committed to the turn-in, right? He got deep into the turn-in, made the turn, and all of a sudden just Jeffers shot to the apex and slid right through. You wonder whether or not Schrag may have got a little deeper into the braking zone than he wanted to get down to the apex, and Jeffers took full advantage of that and has taken the lead. Jeffers goes back out front, Schrag into second. Now watch for Teddy Masella to go to work on his teammate again. He did it yesterday, and again, we all know this. You look at the championship. As I said before, Teddy Masella is 28 points back. All he's really got to do is beat the driver who is P1 in the points. That's Thomas Schrag. He's going to try to get by his teammate to potentially close up a bit here in the championship chase.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he has any hope of taking the championship, he's got to keep the championship leaders behind him. Jeffers is out in front, but Schrag at least is certainly a target that he's got in his sights as he makes his way through the keyhole turn.
They're lining up here, as you can see, folks. Everybody essentially front nose right to the gearbox. They are lining up here, and again, we'll talk about aero wash, but we've seen a couple of great passes. Yeah, we can talk aero wash all day long. We saw a pass on the inside of the carousel, which we don't normally see. A couple of great knife moves to the inside. Here comes another one. That's further back. That's Facuri trying to find a way back by Gafrarar, but Caleb doing a good job running that outside line. And that's something these drivers will learn. As they come into the corner, you commit to the outside there. As you come through 4, as long as your driver's left, you still have the inside line coming up into turn 5. And for somebody to pass you on turn 5, they've got to almost be around you. They got to have at least a half a car around to get it to work on the outside of turn 5. So Gafrarar just held on the throttle, kept the line going, and Facuri did a good job not getting into him after he made the move to the inside. Facuri continues to push, though, looking up at the hill as they come in and get through turn number 10, cresting up to turn number 11. A lot of pressure there. I'll say Facuri's trying to get by Gafrarar, but check this out right now. Garzone is putting a ton of pressure on Facuri as well. Tough to be on the attack mode, John, when you're also thinking about the driver behind you.
Yeah, Garzone and his teammate Joshua Allenau right there behind Facuri. And I saw Garzone take a little peek coming into the carousel. Couldn't close the deal, but he is definitely hunting.
So getting a call in from race control, alerting me that they did give a warning to Jack Jeffers for blocking in turn number 4. That move to the inside on Masella. So oftentimes you'll get that one warning. You're not going to get 2. So Jack Jeffers has been warned about that block. Not really having to worry about it now. He's 1.3 seconds up the road. A 20-lapper here. Oh, look at this battle further back again. Masella this time getting blocked a bit there by his teammates. Thomas Schrag. Schrag up on the wheel, trying to hold that spot. And Masella had to look to the inside again. Teddy putting all the pressure. Look at this over, under, left side, right side. But trying to get a little bit of air, John, over the front wing. He pulled a bit to the left there on the entry to turn 6. Just please, a little bit of front downforce on the wing to the left side of the race car.
And, inadvertently, he's brought Gafrarar right back into the battle as well, because as he's battling to get around Schrag, Gafrarar is able to close up and make this really a 3-car battle for that second spot as Jack Jeffers trying to get away at the front, doing a pretty good job of it.
Hey, open racetrack, again, when you bring up that aero wash, that mid-corner, understeer you get from not having the air flowing over the front wing, when you're out front, just like we saw yesterday with Max Garcia, the entire race out front, banging out those laps, not hurting the front tires, not punishing those front tires with that understeer. Gaffarar's going to like this. Teddy Masella continues to try to find a way by. Let's see if he's able to get it done here. I believe he probably has a quicker car, or thinks he has a quicker car. It's all about getting the momentum out of turn number 2. He's closing to within, 3 car lengths, coming down to the kink of turn number 3. Let's see if Masella tries to send it to the outside this time as they come down in. There he is. This time lining up.
There goes
battle
Fakuri.
further back. Fakuri to the inside again. Hold on. Oh, Gafrarar almost drops the wheel, but holds on. Fakuri better watch out, because right there is Garzone. Garzone may lose a spot as well, though, because I think that is potentially Cooley in there now, or Christian Cameron. There is a ton of racing further back, and again, you make a move and then it doesn't work. Sometimes you're going to lose a spot because, again, you're throwing it in there. Other drivers most ready to pounce on your mistakes. There's a lot of good action here outside the top three.
Masella right on the tail of Thomas Schrag as they come into the carousel turn.
Well, knowing that we're in the stretch run and the opportunity to gain these points, John, as we discussed at the start of the show, you can't leave any points on the table now. Teddy Masella wants to challenge his teammate for the potential championship, keep himself in that fight, maybe make it a three-driver battle, right? Because, he's got a pretty good point lead. I think he's 25 points up or more on Argyros, 27, I think, points up. So a bit of a gap back to the driver P4. This could become a three-driver fight as G3 Argyros, who started up in 8th, has fallen down to 11th. So again, the opportunity to kind of drop some of the drivers off the tail of the championship peloton, if you will, to make it maybe just a three-driver battle. But Masella's going to get super aggressive as we have another driver who's dropped the wheel here. It's one of the Jay Howard cars who has gone off on the outside. This is that battle for both second and fourth. I like the constant pressure from both of these drivers.
Yep.
Masella is putting the pressure on Schrag. Fakuri putting the pressure on Gafrarar. That's what tests these young drivers, makes them stronger, makes them better. And again, if you can't find a way by, force that mistake. Stay in the mirrors. That's what we're seeing right now here. Battles for second, battles for fourth.
Fakuri looking for his first podium on the season, and it's certainly within his reach. I don't know if it's in his grasp just yet, but Gafrarar is doing a good job of fending him off.
Again, you got to take care of the tires. We talked a lot about that. When you stay in someone's draft the entire time and continue to have that mid-corner understeer from losing that air over the front wing, it's going to take its toll over a 20-lap contest.
And plus, this is the third race of a triple header, so this is where the tire strategies, come home to roost, basically.
Yeah, that's a really good point, John. As they came in, folks, with 3 races, they'll get 4 sets of fresh Continental tires. Everybody using 2 sets in qualifying to try to get that fast lap. So if there's only 2 fresh sets left, when did you use them? Race 1, 2, or 3? There could be some drivers out here right now with fresh rubber. They may have held it for the 3rd race. Others burned those up, and they're on used tires, scuffed tires, likely from a 4-lap run in qualifying. So a very interesting tire strategy. Who's played it correctly? And again, watching this battle here, I think that's that's an inside move, a defensive run down the inside to cover the bottom for Thomas Schrag. This time went to the inside. I thought maybe Masella might get a better run. Look at Masella, just everywhere on him now, and this is allowing, as you said, Caleb Gafrarar to come back into the fight. And just to update the driver, the Jay Howard car that went off on the outside of turn number 2, I believe was the number 9 of Anthony Martella. It's just been a very rough weekend for Martella here. The pace was there. Just didn't get what he wanted out of the weekend here at Mid-Ohio. Down now into the 17th spot. Trying to see if he can't close back up here on Vian Bossoff and Von Mishko.
Jack Jeffers is looking very Max Garcia-like here. He has just opened up a 5-second lead after just 8 laps.
Yeah, he's got fast lap of the race, John, as well. A 1:23.039, and he has it by quite a bit. Schrag's fastest lap is 0.6 of a second. So yeah, Jeffers way out front right now, trying to get his 2nd win on the weekend. It would be his 3rd win of the season, and it would very likely give him the point lead as well heading to Toronto.
At some point, Alinel got around Garzone, I think, in that shuffle when Fakuri went after Gafrarar. So Alinel up into 6th spot as he's the lead of those 2 D-Force racing cars.
Oh, Lucas Fakuri going to make the move around the outside of Caleb Gafrarar. Fakuri trying to hold on to. Oh, Gafrarar comes right back around. Does he get it at the bottom of the hill? He's going to look to the inside, and indeed he does. That looked like it was going to be a fantastic move for Fakuri there, John, but just lost it a little bit on the exit. It got a little loose on exit. Had to kind of pedal it, I think. And Caleb Gafrarar stayed in the throttle, so shout out to Caleb for staying in it. Even though he had lost the spot, stayed in it and gained it back down in turn number 6.
Yeah, if somebody tries to go around the outside of turn 4, that puts you on the inside of turn 5 and vice versa down into turn 6. So with those alternate alternating left-right turns, that certainly gives you the opportunity to stay side by side and have the inside line down into 6.
John, getting insight from race control that a warning for blocking, we believe, to Thomas Schrag as well. So everybody doing their best in terms of defense. So yeah, Thomas Schrag getting his warning for blocking his teammate Teddy Masella. So again, a lot of excitement here through the field as everybody clawing for it. And I always say that drivers come in here, everybody comes into the race with a different story, right?
Sure.
Some drivers are thinking about maintaining where they are. Others have had a bad weekend. Man, they just want that recovery drive. Others are like, listen, I've had so much bad luck. I just want to stay out of trouble for this race to see if I can get to the end. For a driver like Schrag, again, trying to get that victory here in home turf. All the family is here. The sponsors are here. He wants to get that win. He was on the podium in race number 1, as you had said. Issues with the car, front wing damage in race number 2. Trying to get back to the podium at least here in race number 3 and keep that championship hope alive. Jeffers, Schrag, Masella, Gafrarar, and Facuri. Lucas Facuri looked like he may have had the job done for P4. Couldn't quite seal the deal. Oh, a driver's gone off, and we're going to have a big wreck on the back straightaway. Somebody dropped a wheel coming out of turn number 9. Came across the track, and they have collected that driver coming up through. We are very likely going to see a full course yellow here. Not sure who that was involved in the incident. Watching them all come across here now. Yeah, full course yellow for an incident down coming out of turn number 9. I want to say that might have been, I think it's going to be Ryan Janetta and Anthony Martella. Janetta's luck does not change here in race number 3 on a Sunday morning in Mid-Ohio. He dropped the wheel coming out of turn number 9. The car immediately came across the racetrack. And Anthony Martella, who was back there because of the off he had in turn number 2, had absolutely nowhere to go. And he got collected in that incident. I guarantee you they came across the track, and both those drivers into the Armco on the right side of the racetrack. So tough one there for Ryan Janetta and Anthony Martella, and tough as well for Jack Jeffers. A 6.1 second lead disappears in an instant. Although, again, he is bad fast right now. He's got the fastest race car on the track, no doubt about that. And obviously been able to take care of the tires as well. But yeah, it's Ryan Janetta and Anthony Martella, we believe, down in turn number 9 in Thunder Valley. You see the shot there, because they were definitely going to come all the way through Thunder Valley with the contact and the pace that they had, probably more closely up into turn number 10.
Yeah, we could just see the top of the recovery truck from our vantage point here, but we can't see the cars themselves. But
there's
drivers
a better
out.
Shot there.
Both drivers are out. That's great to see as they're walking to the AMR safety vehicle. They'll get a ride back to the pit lane. So apparently the car is damaged enough. They'll have to get them on the hook.
Yeah, like I said, we kind of picked that up. There's a good shot of it there. Yeah, that's a lot of damage to the car of Anthony Martella. Not surprising, because Martella, number one, the contact coming across from left to right that Janetta made contact there on the left side of his car, the right and left sides of the car, but then they both went into the guardrail on the outside. AMR IndyCar safety team is, of course, on the scene. This is going to take a little time for sure. 11 laps down.
Second tow truck coming.
Yeah. This is going to take 2 for sure. First and foremost, they're going to have to probably pry these cars apart. I would not be surprised if they're.
They look like they have interlocked wheels for sure.
Indeed. Yeah. Again, it's been a tough weekend for Ryan Janetta and Anthony Martella. Both these drivers have been involved in incidents. Ryan, of course, yesterday in the start line chaos where drivers were checking up. Ayrton Hauk climbing up over top of Garzone, then shooting to the right, straight into Janetta. Not his fault at all. This time, an age-old story of dropping a wheel on the exit. You're on power, coming over turn number 9, just dropped the left side rear off the track. It starts to spin, around you go, because there's no traction there. And again, tough for Anthony Martella, literally at the tail of the field, to just close back up after his spin and gets collected in that incident. So we are yellow. Let's have a full field rundown for you. Jack Jeffers is the leader. Thomas Schrag runs in second. Teddy Masella in third. Masella putting a ton of pressure on his teammate trying to go to P2. Caleb Gafrarar running in fourth. Another fantastic battle. Lucas Facuri, P5, has been all over Caleb Gafrarar in this race. Almost had it done coming through turn 4 at one point, but got just a little bit loose on the exit. Gafrarar pounced back and was able to get the pass done and the spot back when they came down into turn number 6. I thought Fakuri was going to lose a spot to Garzone there as well, but Garzone eventually lost a position to Joshua Leonel, his teammate, moving up into 6th spot. So it's been a good run for Leonel. Started 10th, now running in the 6th spot, +4 over 11 laps. Garzone slips back into the 7th position. Christian Cameron now in 8th position. G3 Argyros in 9th. And Evan Cooley, who started 12th, was up a little further, but he has fallen back into the 10th position. Timmy Carell running in 11th. Ayrton Hauk in 12th. Eddie Beswick 13th. Von Mishko 14th. Vian Basov 15th. 2 drivers now out of this race, Ryan Janetta and Anthony Martella.
And again, tip of the hat to the AMR safety crew. They've got those cars on the hook on the way to the boneyard. I think we should be able to go green this time by, unless there's any fluid down on the racetrack. But it looks like all the safety vehicles are pulling away from the scene, so we should be good to get the restart this time by.
We'll have a good look at these cars likely if they come. No, they're going to turn right into the pre-grid there area, so they'll take those cars back to the paddock area. Make it a little tougher on those teams, because a little tougher to load a race car when it's not rolling at all. So
yeah, exactly.
That'll be tough.
Yeah, in some cases they may elect to try to affect some changes just to get the car rollable,
exactly,
so they can get it on the transport.
Get it on a dolly or something to get it up into the transporter. And again, they've got some time at least. Next weekend we are off. In 2 weeks' time, we are, of course, up in Toronto for that event. Looking forward to getting north of the border to that fantastic race. And again, with the championships up for grabs here in USF2000. Not so much in the Pro 2000 category. If you guys watched yesterday, Max Garcia absolutely fantastic on the day, winning from pole position in both races, dominant race wins. And Eddie Fuhrer from US Open Wheel Nation, one of the journalists that covers our series, pointed out on social media, that's the first time that we've had a driver win both races at Mid-Ohio from pole since Kyle Kirkwood. You mentioned yesterday that Max Garcia reminds you a lot of a young Kyle Kirkwood, so there's those comparisons are going to keep happening when you have performance like Max did yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Jeffers is putting on a very Max-like performance here. Let's see if he can hang on to it after that big 6-second plus lead evaporated with this yellow flag.
Again, you think about the fact that he's been able to take care of the tires out front, not having to worry about any aero wash. Pretty much the same thing for Schrag. He's been out front, so not a lot of aero wash, hasn't been beating up the tires at all. Drivers are going to line things up now. That pace car has got on it, on the loud pedal, back up into pit lane. We will go green flag racing. 13 laps in when they come back across the stripe. There will be 7 laps to go. Jeffers, Schrag, Masella, Gafrarar, and Fakuri. Your top 5. Fakuri looking for that first podium. Gafrarar trying to see if he can't do it 3 times here on a weekend. Teddy Masella has got a great run of podiums as well. We're back on the throttle. Jeffers gets on it. He gets a solid start, but so does Thomas Schrag. They're underway. Masella's going to try to get a big draft. Everybody in line. Nobody in a position to make a move in turn 1. So we'll roll them through. Let's see how things roll out here on the opening circuit. This is the run again out of turn 1. Climbing that hill. Schrag has a little look to the inside, trying to fill the mirrors. We may get a pass a little bit further back, move to the inside there. That is Christian Cameron. He, Garzone, and G3 Argyros right there around the 7, 8, 9 positions on the order.
Argyros picked up a couple spots. He was back outside the top 10, so he's working his way forward.
Here's that first run down into the braking zone. Gaffarar's going to get challenged from Fakuri. Here comes Lucas Fakuri to the inside. Book it. Fakuri going to P4, but again, that car loose on the entry to 5. He's able to hold on. They're side by side, the 2 D-Force drivers as well. Garzone trying to get by Joshua Leonel. They'll crest the hill at turn number 7. Side by side is tough to get done through there. No, they'll go back line astern. And away they go. Jeffers gets the first challenge handled. Let's see whether or not Masella can restart what he did going to work on Schrag. Jeffers has about 5 or 6 car lengths as they come down into the carousel. That downhill right-hander. Again, off camber, power down, trying to get back onto the front straightaway. He's got a bit of a gap here now. It was 6 seconds at one point. It's 0.6 of a second now as they get back at it. 6 laps remaining here. Let's see who has the pace to make the attack. Lucas Fakuri up to P4. Can he make that run to his first podium here in USF2000? He got one in USF Juniors a couple of years ago. Fakuri has really come on midway through the season. There's that move further back. Christian Cameron keeping to put the pressure on Sebastian Garzone. John keeping himself to the inside, coming into the keyhole. Got to stay in those mirrors of the drivers that you're trying to pressure.
Yeah, he had a look coming into the carousel turn, actually. Couldn't close the deal, but he's looking again way down to the inside.
Christian Cameron trying to see if he can't get himself into the top 10 here in points. Needs a good score here to add a couple more markers to the total. Look at that battle. In fact, Garzone's holding them all back. It's Garzone, Cameron, Argyros, Cooley, Carell. They're all right there behind Sebastian Garzone right now. As Joshua Leonel's been able to jet away a little bit. In fact, I think he's trying to stay with Caleb Gafrarar now. Yeah, there he is. You can see in the draft Caleb Gafrarar. That's the gap between, 6th back to 7th. Probably the biggest gap on the racetrack right now. Let's have a look to see how things play out here lap time-wise. Teddy Masella put a ton of pressure on his teammate for the first half of that race, but he was right in the draft the whole time. Did he burn up those tires at all? Did they come back across the line to put lap 15 in? Jeffers at 23.3, Schrag 23.1, Masella 23.2, Facuri 23.1. Facuri putting the target on the rear attenuator of Teddy Masella. Can he get himself to the podium? We'll see here for Facuri, having a great run. No moves this time, John, down into the keyhole.
Gafrarar is right there on Facuri's tail, too. He's got to be careful to watch his mirrors as well, as they spread out just a little bit, making the run down toward the kink.
You always see they spread coming to the kink, right? And then all of a sudden, as that draft really comes to play, they start closing and closing, and you may see a driver make that lunge. Right now, though, everybody is kind of getting into the train here as we're midway through this final half of the race. 5 laps to go. It'll be 4 when they come back around. Gafrarar still putting that pressure on Facuri trying to close on Masella. Fast lap still belongs to Jack Jeffers. He's led the most laps as well. Thomas Schrag with the bonus point for starting on the pole. Great pace in qualifying for Thomas Schrag. Had the fastest lap and the fastest second lap. Locked down the pole for race 1, 2, and 3. That's $3,000 as well. $1,000 from Continental Tire for the pole in this USF2000 category. Schrag's not done yet either. He keeps digging. Both those drivers very similar lap time. Schrag a couple of hundredths of a second faster. 4 to go.
Gafrarar is resurgent here. He's right on the back of Facuri, trying to take that 4th spot back.
John, yeah, he was a 10th quicker, indeed. Getting back into it here. Again, all lining up to see if you can't get that better run. You can see right there. Yeah, Gafrarar is not even a car length back. What kind of a run can you get out of the keyhole? Can you put that power down? Are you maybe just a little bit earlier on the throttle? He lost a little bit there on the exit, not surprising. Again, we talk about the mid-corner understeer from that aero wash, but if you can get the car to rotate back on the power, you can get yourself into position. He's not there now, and in fact, Joshua Leonel has closed back up. And give it up for Sebastian Garzone. Remember, that was the biggest gap on the racetrack at one point. He's chipped away at it, and he's almost back up to a Leonel as well. So we may see a battle here for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Gafrarar was looking at Facuri. He's going to start thinking about a Leonel behind now.
Yeah, Garzone, had bad luck with, with getting caught up into that incident yesterday. So he's looking for a better result here today as well.
4 laps to go, 3 when they come back to the line. Top 3 drivers trying to jet away here. Masella is making some ground on Facuri. He was 0.2 of a second quicker last time, so he's giving himself a little bit of a gap, and that would help Teddy. If he doesn't have to worry about Facuri behind, he can keep focusing forward. I bet we're going to see almost similar lap times of the drivers coming across here. Yeah, Schrag was, again, 0.04 of a second quicker. It's just under 0.4 of a second. Masella, though, quicker than both drivers in front of him. He was 0.3 faster than Thomas Schrag.
Nearly the entire field set personal bests on that last lap. Again, as the fuel burns off, these cars get lighter and they get faster.
Teddy Masella sent it, 3 times so far, trying to get by his teammate. Just wasn't able to go. He was blocked to the inside. Schrag got the warning there, tried the outside run, wasn't able to get it done. Is he close enough? He is not. Schrag closing to within a car length. He deeps it big time into turn number 4 to try to roll that corner speed. Schrag now right on him. We got 1, 2, 3 lined up, John. This is fantastic stuff out front here for the final couple of laps here in USF2000.
I'm sure Jack Jeffers is yearning for that 6-second lead he had before the yellow.
Indeed. The easy days of running with a 6-second lead.
Yeah.
Not having to hardly look in the mirrors, just listening to the radio call from your spotter or your engineer on pit lane letting you know what the gap is. Right now, that gap not enough to even worry about. It is all about racing here. This is when they go back to those days in karting when they did for so many years battling it out, dogfighting with drivers at kart tracks around the country here. And this is something you can't teach, John. Another thing, I always want parents to let their drivers stay in a series one more year. They always want to move their drivers up, sometimes a little too quickly. I want to see them in a battle for the race win. Score some wins, but get in a battle for the win, not just walk away victories. You want to be able to learn how to fight for a race win. Thomas Schrag lining things up right now. Here we go with 2 to go. White flag will fly next time by. Schrag looks like he could be close enough. What kind of aero wash did he get? It's going to be 3 or 4 car lengths. He's probably close enough to make something happen coming down the back straightaway. Here we go from 2 to 3 to 4.
Jeffers feeling the pressure. He goes defensive, but that gives Schrag a little more momentum up into 5.
Schrag had a bit of trouble coming through. I think he was potentially trying to set up for an over-under. Not quite there to get the job done. Jeffers just moved over a little bit to defend to the inside, cover off the bottom of the racetrack. Schrag didn't bite at all. He stuck on his line. Was hoping to maybe get the over-under coming through there. He is shown to have good pace here late in the run. Thomas Schrag lining up. But look who else is coming back in. Facuri is coming back up here as well. Teddy Masella not close enough. Top 5 drivers have spread out a little bit here. The 2 D-Force cars running 6th and 7th, Lionel and Garzone.
Garzone looking like he'd like that spot back
right
from his teammate. White flag is in the air.
Thomas Schrag's going to get a shot at it here because Teddy Masella I don't think is close enough yet to potentially go on the offensive himself. It could just be the battle here right now. Jeffers, Schrag, Masella, Facuri, and Gafrarar across the line. Final lap of a 7-race weekend here at Mid-Ohio. USF2000 drivers capping off their triple header. All about getting a good run for both Jeffers, Schrag, and even Masella.
The top 5 really nose to tail.
And here they come
down the hill.
John, as we know, turn 4, pretty much the final opportunity to overtake. Jeffers will be looking in the mirrors. Schrag thinking about the inside. He's not close enough to get the job done. And again, listen, we're still in a championship here. You may want to win here, but the last thing you're going to do is throw it away in the final lap and get a DNF. If it's there, you take it. If it's not, it's better to grab that second spot. Now, that's a good run there for Thomas Schrag. He wasn't close enough to try to descend, to try to make the big low percentage move to the inside. It's very tough to pass here, as we know, in the second half of the lap. So great job for all the drivers up front. Schrag's going to have one more shot at it, and that would be potential inside move. We saw Gafrarar go by Facuri in that position, coming down into the turn number 12 spot there, into the carousel. Now Jack Jeffers gets it done through the carousel, through 13. Back-to-back Jacks here in race 2 and race 3. Jack Jeffers will win in USF 2000. And the championship getting more and more interesting, no doubt about it. Jeffers will very likely take a slim championship lead here, not by much, as Jeffers wins over Schrag by 0.3 of a second. Thomas pushed him as hard as he could at the end there, not quite enough, but it is a VRD 2-3 as Teddy Masella on the podium again. That's 4 podiums in the last 5 races for Teddy Masella. Talking about a guy who's really stepped things up. JSF4 champion last year, really came into his own here midway through the season. Super consistent, John, first half of the season. All those 4th to 7th, 8th positions. But man, we're not seeing 4th to 7th anymore. We're seeing all these top 3s and a win at Road America. Great job for Teddy Masella as well. But Jack Jeffers, folks, getting the race win. The fast lap actually belonged to Evan Cooley down in the 11th position. He was the fastest driver on the racetrack with the quick time, a 1:22.105. But again, I'll head down to victory lane now. I'll hand it over to John to give you the unofficial results of the 17 drivers who capped off the final race of a 7-event weekend here at Mid-Ohio.
Great to have Rob Howden with us here. This is his final race of the weekend, as he's going to sprint down to the victory circle to interview our top 3 finishers. Jack Jeffers holding on to the win after building up a big lead that evaporated with that full course yellow just past half distance, but did a good job of holding off the challenge from the points leader, Thomas Schrag. And again, Jeffers most likely will be very close to the points lead, if not into it. We'll see after the post-race technical inspections. Teddy Masella finishing in the 3rd spot provisionally. Lucas Facuri, what a great job for the Brazilian, up to 4th after starting in 6th. So he picked up a couple spots and really was very close to his first podium of the year. Caleb Gafrarar continued a good weekend in the 24 car. In 5th spot, Joshua Alianel in the number 11, finishing 6th. Sebastian Guerzon finishing 7th. Kristen Cameron in 8th spot. Good run for Cameron. G3 Argyros fading to 9th. And Evan Cooley finishing in the 10th spot. 11th through 17th, Timothy Carroll takes the 11th spot. Ayrton Hoke right behind him. 13th is Eddie Beswick. Vaughn Mishko finishing 14th in his debut weekend. Wien Boshoff, the last car on the lead lap, with Ryan Janetta and Anthony Martella not finishing after that incident there in Thunder Valley. So Jack Jeffers getting congratulations from his crew, getting his helmet off. A good weekend for Jeffers. Back-to-back wins here in rounds 2 and 3, and a second place finish in round 1. That's a pretty successful weekend here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Jeffers out of San Antonio, Texas for Exclusive Autosport. Gets the winner's hat. A big smile on his face as he dons that. Here we go. This is what we all look forward to as he climbs out of the car, onto the car, and gives a big salute. There's a win. Good job. As he gets congratulations from his family and crew. Great job for Jack Jeffers. Doing what he needed to do to keep Thomas Schrag behind him and close down that points battle. Heading into the doubleheader at Toronto and then the tripleheader at the end of the season at Portland. Next on the agenda, warm up for the NTT IndyCar Series. They're scheduled to take the track in about a half an hour. So we'll have some time to get settled in as these drivers from the USF2000 championship make their way back to the paddock for the final time. And then the IndyCar teams will push out onto the pit lane, getting ready for their pre-race warm-up coming up at 9:30. After that, we'll gear up for the Indy Next by Firestone race. 10:30, the start time for that one. And then it's heading right into the pre-race festivities leading up to the start of the Honda Indy 200 here at Mid-Ohio this weekend. Just a reminder that the fan walk is open to everyone. You do not need a paddock pass to take part in the fan walk. It will kick off at 12:20, thereabouts. And we'll have a chance to mingle with the cars and stars of the NTT IndyCar Series as they make preparations to get the race underway. Longer length of the race, 90 laps this year. It's going to change the strategies, make it pretty much a 3-stopper for everybody. So with that, we keep our fingers crossed. We're going to see a lot of full rich, full throttle racing, as we won't have drivers trying to save fuel. But it also opens the door for some interesting strategy battles. Where to make those fuel stops? Where do the yellows fall? If they do, we have run multiple times here at this race with no yellows. So is this going to be one of those weekends? Hard to tell. Based on what we saw at Road America at the last race, I kind of doubt it. Sounds like Rob Howden is ready to go with the final podium of the weekend for the USF Championships. Take it away, Rob.
That's it, John. One more time here. We've done 7 of these now. What a weekend it's been for the USF Pro Championships here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the PFC Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. Again, these young drivers in USF2000 are embroiled in a championship battle. It's going to go down to the final race in Portland, no doubt about it. Let's start with the driver coming home third spot, his fourth podium in the last 5 races for VRD Racing. P3 goes to Teddy Masella. Awesome race and awesome weekend for Teddy. Great job today. Finishing in second spot. Again, this championship is tight. He's the local driver here from Ohio. Put your hands together for Thomas Schrag, coming home P2. Again, this championship super tight. Couple of big wins on the weekend to put him back to P1. The championship race heading to Toronto. The winner today for Exclusive Autosport, Jack Jeffers. Jack, when you get to your third race at a track like this, you kind of get a feel for the track, get a feel for the racing. The three of you guys went at it hardcore. Tell me about that race a bit.
Yeah, the beginning was good. I was able to pull a gap while they were battling, and I kind of suspected a full course caution was going to come out because that's the nature of this track. And so it came out, we got to go to race start, and they were pressuring me the whole race. Both of them have been very fast all weekend, so I was never going to count them out. I had to go defensive one time in a turn 4, but other than that, I had to cover it off, and we were able to hold on to the end.
What's it mean for you to win this, get back? Obviously, an incident at Road America set you back a little bit, but to get back to P1 with a great weekend here, what's it mean to you and the team?
It means a lot. You know, Road America was a poor performance on my part, and I had to go home and really do some self-reflecting and just be brutally honest with myself. And so I'm glad that I could regroup and reset the right way. I had the right team behind me to help me with that. They've never lost faith in me. They've always had my back from day one back in 2023. So I have the best team out there. A huge thank you to the whole EA crew. A huge thank you to my team owners, Michael and Josh. Unk for looking out for me. Braden, it's a privilege to work with him. For him, you know, he's so young, and so he still gets in the car, so he has an understanding of what we go through, not only at the track, but off the track. So I'm happy I can work with Braden and Lou, Pop, best engineer in the paddock. So a huge thank you to him. And David works his ass off and never really gets any credit, but a huge thank you to him. A huge thank you to my mom and my parents and my family back at home.
Well done, man. Get on top of this podium here. For the second time here on the weekend, third time on the season, Jack Jeffers is a winner in USF2000. And this championship, as we said, is dialing in for the stretch run. Just 5 races remaining, 2 in Toronto, 3 at Portland, to find out who comes away with a scholarship to move to USF Pro 2000 next year, worth $405,000. Huge money up for grabs for the champion in USF 2000. We'll see who ends up taking that when we get to Portland, but I'll tell you, these 3 drivers here are lining up. This is first, second, and third in the points as well, folks, as we head into Toronto. This is how close this category is, working their way to the final rounds of the year. Gorgeous day at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So much fantastic action still to come. The Indy Next race, as we know, coming. The NTT IndyCar Series will be on track for the Honda 200 as well. This is has been a great day for us. A great weekend for this USF Pro Championships. Always a pleasure for us to be able to show you the young stars of this sport, those who are trying to work their way up into IndyCar, to follow in the footsteps of drivers like Kyle Kirkwood, Renus VK, and Christian Rasmussen, Louis Foster, Stingray Robb, so many drivers who have come through. Pato Award, right, coming through on this program. David Malukas, all these drivers who started in the USF Pro Championships program, formerly known as the Road to Indy. We'll wrap things up here momentarily. One more time to spray the bubbly and celebrate the successes of these young drivers here. It takes a village, I'll tell you that. You heard from Jack Jeffers' interview. So many people behind every one of the drivers here, engineers, coaches. Of course, Jack mentioning Braden Eves, who is now an engineer and a coach at Exclusive Autosport, former USF 2000 champion in his own right, multi-time winner in USF 2000 and Pro 2000. Every one of these teams, every one of these drivers has great people behind them. We'll move this race car out of the way, guys. Let's get out of here. Take those steps forward. Grab that champagne. Let's get underway, folks. The celebration beginning. Grab that champagne. Grip it and rip it. Let's do it for one more time. Here comes the celebration. The champagne flying 7 times on the weekend. Jack Jeffers scoring 2 victories to take the point lead in the USF2000 championship. Thomas Schrag finishing in second, Teddy Musella in third. And again, that caps off the first race of 3 on the day for you here. All you fans trackside are going to enjoy a fantastic day of competition. We started things off here with USF2000. Those of you watching from home, we thank you for taking some time out of your Sunday to watch these young drivers go at it here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Big thank you for the opportunity again to invade the booth and work with the esteemed John Phippen, the voice of this Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. That wraps up the coverage of every race we've had here this weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.